I'm back again with another deck profile with Burn, of course, like all things. But this time I have a better list than last time, because last time I played Attack and Receive. That's not that great in this edition. I went 3-1. I should have won. I should have gone 4-0 technically, because I lost the fourth round because I forgot to activate mandatory triggers, like burn triggers, by the way, mandatory burn triggers, because of course destroy baiting, right? That's forgetting, right? So my matchup was first one, I lost against Branded. I should have won that one easily. Oh, stupid. Round 2 was against Dark World, but luckily I could lock out my opponent with my Ghost Mourner game 1. And game 2 he won, but game 3 I burned in time because I'm playing a burn deck. Sorry to tell you. Round 3 I played against Sharks. Yeah, Sharks of all things. It was a very close matchup. He won game 1 because he let me go first, and he had even lead, so I was pretty much cooked. Game 2 I had Awakening the Dragon for him, and he said, because it was a friend of mine, right? And he was like, bro, I love you, man, but I have to do this. He played Harvey Service, so I was like, man, no problem. Just chain burns that I could burn, could chain. And then Dimension Walls that I couldn't activate, and of course Awakening the Dragon. So he popped all my cards, and I was like chaining on the burn cards that actually can burn when they're destroyed, and then Awakening the Dragon. And I summoned from Awakening the Dragon, I summoned the Lost Warrior from another planet, because I know that if I summoned if I would have summoned the Raid Raptor Rising Rebellion, you will see the cards better later. I would have lost because he can just search the Kaiju and Kaiju over it. But if he just can summon thanks to Warrior of another planet, he can do anything. Yes, so I won that game. I won that game 2. In game 3 he let me go first again. But luckily, he did open even. He did open evenly, but he just couldn't kill me because you go battle phase, right? And I just got to stall enough with all my cards to win with Mahama the Fairy Dragon. That last game was so perfect because he played around everything with SP, with the tribute, or the trap card, the Sea Stealth Deck. I think that's a card, the trap card. And he just tributed if I activate Dimension Wall or something like that. But he can't do it twice, so I had 2 Dimension Wall set. One he got rid of it, the other one he just destroyed. And he just attacks me. I had 4,100 life points left, and he had 2,200 or something like that, 2,700. So he attacks for 2,750, and I activate Mahama, but he didn't see it. Because I also didn't say anything. It was like, okay, so I attack, and I just threw it on the table, and he was so busy with his own card. He says, main phase 2, and he looks up at the board, and he sees Mahama. He knows Mahama, and he's like, oh yeah, he was just, I think that's game. It was so fun. And game 4 it was against Tyr, just 2-0 Tyr. Tyr couldn't do anything. He didn't have Rukolos, and I had again Mahama the Fairy Dragon. Last game I just owned him too, and he had 100 life points left. It didn't matter how he attacked, so he just attacked, and I was like, Mahama, and he was like, yeah, that's game. Oh, it was amazing. So 3-1, got second place at the, how do you say it, the Rabbit 2 collection event. I almost got the mat, but fortunately I didn't. But yeah. So let's just jump into the deck profile, and let's see how this deck performs. So first of all, of course, the main deck monsters. Yeah, this is the boss monster, man, Mahama the Fairy Dragon. Mahama the Fairy Dragon is a card that whenever I see this card, I am never mad about seeing it in my hand. So of course you don't really want to see it too often, but you know, it's not once per turn, so you know, it's not that bad, I guess. So it's not that bad. So yeah, it's just a funny card, right? and it just steals games very much of the times. But you have to keep in mind that your life points have to be higher than the attack that they will push out into for you to activate this card, of course, because if you're dead, you can't activate it. Next up is 3 Lava Golems. Because you still go second every time you get the chance, Lava Golem, that extra 1000 damage, does so much. Because these two cards, Mahama and Lava Golem, are the cards that win you, that certainly win you the game if drawn, and if played correctly, of course. Because the 1000 burn, the 1000 burn is something that not many cards in this deck do, because Secret Battle is always not that much. Same for Secret Blast. So these are cards that makes it you can win way easier and just get rid of their negates, SPs, mail cards, or whatever they have. I cut down to 2 Ghost Mourners instead of 3 because of the fact that Ghost Mourner, you never want to see 3 in hand. And you also want to cut down on the monsters, because you never want to see 2 monsters is like maximum you ever want to see, because still the trap cards are the ones that does the most damage. But this can stop a lot of plays. Like I said, against Darkwood, I just activated this card against Saruja, and yeah, he couldn't do anything, so that's good. He couldn't extend further, and I just ran into that. I played 2 Lord of the Heavenly Prison. I think I want to keep it at 2. I was thinking about putting it to 3, but because Lord of the Heavenly Prison is also a monster that you don't really want to see that much, it's not that bad. But I'm thinking about putting a 3rd one in the side deck for when you go second and they play Brand or something, they can always go Chimera and then pop, but if you can draw this one, you can activate it to review, and then they cannot do that play anymore. So it just brings out something extra. Those were the monster ratios. It's a pretty large amount of monsters, if I say so myself. 11 monsters. We're guaranteed to at least see 1 most of the time. For the spells, we only play 2 different spell cards, and that's Pot of Desires, Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Extravagance is a good card because of the fact that you just banish your extra deck and draw 2 cards. You don't want to. You can also maybe play Pot of Desires, but I like Extravagance a bit more because you just don't use your extra deck. Only for Awakening the Dragon. That's it. There's no other reason you can play and of course, Chain Strike. I think Chain Strike is one of the worst cards to have in the deck I have, but it's just something. Come on, man! Just the 400 burn per Chain Link. It's pretty good. If I had it against my Brent, I would have won game 1 even. I think because it's just that good. For the trap cards, the most important trap cards are Ceasefire. This card has 500 attack for every effect monster on the field. Never is a face down monster. Flip that monster face up, not getting his effects. If it's a flip monster, and then you just burn for that effect monster also. It's just 500 for every card. I burned against a player maximum, so 5 monsters on board and 1 in extra monster zone, the shark player. So that's 3000 damage. That's the maximum you can do with this card. So that's all not that's the maximum you can do, but that's the damage that I did. So 3500, 3000 is it's big damage. Also played 3 Just Desserts. Just Desserts is just crazy. 500 for every monster they control. It's just like this. So like Ceasefire, but worse. Next up is Ring of Destruction. Oh. Ring of Destruction. Ring of Destruction is a card that is very good, but cards like SP get over it very easily, and that's not something I really like. They can get rid of it with Branded in red. It's just not feeling it, you know. It's just very bad. But this burns for the maximum damage. So if you use it on Lava Golem, it's so much damage. Next on Battle Blast. This is the newer card that I did not have yet when I was playing the deck last time. Padlock Blast, you target a monster in the field, both players burn equal to half that monster's attack. Not original attack, just the attack. So if it's buffed like 10k, we both take 5000. Yeah. That's it. And if this card is destroyed, you deal 1000 damage to your foe. This is only once per turn though, so this card is like actually very good. Then next up is the Secret Blast. Secret Blast does 300 damage for every card your opponent controls to your opponent. Yeah, there's nothing much more. And if this card is destroyed, deal extra 1000 damage to your opponent. Next up, Secret Blast. This is one of the. It's like. It never feels satisfying to activate this card. Never. The Secret Blast has the ability that does 200 damage for every card on your opponent's field and in their hand. The hand part is pretty cool. But I activated this against Tia and I did 1600 damage, so that's like the most it can do, I guess. I like this card, but it's not the best. A card I really like, but is very overrated really much, is Gravedigger's Trapple. Gravedigger's Trapple does 2000 damage on negation of a monster in your hand, in your opponent's hand, banished or graveyard. I used this against the Dargon player. He goes, oh, I think Chainlink won Genta, Chainlink 2 Shuruli because it doesn't matter anyway. I was like, well, I activated Gravedigger's Trapple, so no Shuruli for you, so no hand up please. So it did matter, it did matter. It was very funny, and he lost that thing. Then cards that are not great, but I really like them, are Magic Cylinder. Magic Cylinder is very funny because you target the monster and then the damages you would have taken from that damage redirects to them and you can negate the attack, right? But it's targeting, and you don't really like targeting it because if you target something, they can remove the targeting monster, etc. Or some cards can just not be targeted, like Dragoon for instance. Then I played 2 Dimension Wall. Dimension Wall is a good card because it does literally the same thing as Magic Cylinder, but it doesn't target. So that's why you mostly side out 1 extra for it. And then the best trap card in this deck is Trap Trick, because Trap Trick is every trap card in the deck. Literally, this can be every trap card in the deck. Because my Blended player round 2 went Harpy's Feather Duster, I got Harpy's 3 times. I activated Trap Trick, he said sure. I set Awakening the Dragon, and then Awakening the Dragon effect for the big bird, and he couldn't out the big bird. So that was pretty good. This was the main deck, 40 cards main, because there are no other good burden cards, I guess, that you really want to play. Let's get into the side deck. The side deck isn't that interesting, but I will just give the reasoning behind the monsters. 3, the Last Warrior from Another Planet. This card says neither player can summon monsters. So if Awakening the Dragon is destroyed, you can special summon this card, and no player can summon monsters. But they cannot flip summon, they cannot special summon, and they cannot normal summon. They can set a card, but they cannot flip the card. So Last Warrior from Another Planet is a very interesting way to lock your opponent out of the game. That's why it's in here. These are normally super polymerization targets, but it's more, I don't play anything for this, so make of this what you want for it, I guess. But if you can side deck in super poly, for instance, if you need win down sometimes if you banish, I guess, so as many of these they cannot special also. It's just something. Avimax is just a big body that cannot be targeted, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, that's not how it works. It's just a big body that can buff its own attack if you attack a opponent, and then you will always deal 3000 damage, but it's just for outing, I guess. Dragoon is a tower. Zeus, there may be a place that you can Zeus. Maybe. Just put it in. Never not good to see. Typhon is the only card that you can actually summon in this deck. Sorry, Superstar Slayer Typhon. And it's just annoying, I guess. I should play this card at 3, but sadly I pulled 3 and gave 2 away. But I should play more of this card because this card is the boss monster with Awakening the Dragon, because this card is unaffected by cards. So you can only beat over this card or play a kaiju on top. That's why I couldn't play this summon this card with against the fish guy, because he plays Karma Seal. And then 2 Raid Raptor Ulti Falcon. It's just like this card but worse. It's also a tower, but this card is unaffected by card effects. Then for the side deck is not that special. But you have Volcanic Queen. This is like you side out Lava Golem for Volcanic Queen, or you side this card in. If they know that you're playing Lava Golem and if they play around it, or they play extra annoying cards like maybe 3 negators or interruptions. But this card is very strong against that. And it's also a burn in the adversary opponent's turn. An extra magic cylinder sometimes it comes up, but I think I would just side this card out and play, for instance, on Lord of Heavenly. A card that won me the game, not that it was necessary, was Blazing Mirror Force. The tier player, it just attacked into Blazing Mirror Force, and I was like, okay, sure. I just activated it. And it was like, yep, that's the card. Oh, because of course I'm known at locals as the Mirror Force guy, because I play LOB or Metal Raiders or Magic Rulers at big events, right? Just go up a set. Next up, Ferrous Circle. Shout out. So I was like, I'm not playing Mirror Force. Maybe some cards that represents it, and I just killed him with this card. I had Dimensional Wall set, but it was funny to kill him with this card. An extra Gravediggers. I decided in against tier or decks that activate in the hand, like or in the graveyard a lot, like Snake Eyes for instance, or Branded, or of course Tear. So this card is always good to see. But it's not once per turn. The going first cards, Boo Boo Game, or going first / going second. Yep, it's pretty good. Just when this card is destroyed, well, first of all, if you set a trap and they attack, you can negate the attack, sure. But if this card is destroyed by an effect, their opponent's card effect, you can set 2 trap cards from your grave that are in graveyard in your spell trap card zone, and they can be activated this turn. So it's just an extra reset. And I played 2 Awakening the Dragons. You know this card. If you don't know, this card is amazing. You can see it on your right side. But this card says when this card is removed from the field by an opponent's card effect, so it can be banished, or it can be destroyed, or it can be sent, or whatever you want, you can activate this card's effect to special summon from your deck or extra deck 1 monster. Just 1 monster. So most of the time you just summon one of the annoying pieces that you have here. This card wins games on its own, and I'm so happy that I can finally resolve this one. If you go first, I also play 1 Curse of Darkness. This card says when your opponent activates a spell card, they have to pay 1,000. So that's pretty good. So this can be burned against Branded, against Runic, against if they don't have destruction. It can be Runic, Branded, not really Snake Eyes, but it can be annoying, right? But it's just when they let you first. And then you have the barrier for Branded, for Runic, for Tear Element, for Big Z's decks, for all the decks that are out there that aren't Snake Eyes, and even Snake Eyes you can maybe call Synchro, but that's probably not going to happen real soon. So this was the deck. It's very fun. It's very fun to see that this deck works. It's not that. It's pretty good. Yeah, I have to say so. I find it very weird that this deck really works and is playable, but that's very fun for me, because you just let your opponent go second, then you set 5 pass, and they go like, oh wait, that's not what I expected. I expected 10-5. No, it's just burn. I really like this deck, and this deck has a special place in my heart because it is very different from playing other parts of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yet it still makes you think a bit. It's not that hard, right? It's like on the same level as Snake Eyes, I would say, because Snake Eyes is also not a very hard deck to master. Granted, that's a hard deck to master. But thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.